The journey of adoption has been a story I have been eager to share. On this Mom Chat with Chelsey, I speak with a dear friend, Natalie, about the adoption of her daughter, Savannah Grace, and how it has changed their world.
So with a child calling you mom that you didn't give birth to is beautiful and tragic. And I think that's what makes you emotional, is that with an adoption story, there's going to be heartache somewhere in there, because that is not a typical trajectory for a child's life.
The idea of adoption pressed into the hearts of Chase and Natalie Moy even before their marriage began. Fast forward a few years and the couple found themselves married with two precious children who Natalie says were born naturally to the family, Elliot and Camille. Savannah Grace was introduced to the Moy family in 2016 at just 10 months old when Chase and Natalie gained temporary custody of her.
I can remember seeing her for the first time. Her foster parents brought her in the car seat, and Chase and I looked at her and I just thought, this is so strange. I'm meeting my daughter. And at that time we didn't know that adoption was for sure going to be the end result. We hoped and prayed that it would be. But I just knew in my heart that this is going to be our daughter. And it was weird meeting her that way, because it's not the way we met our other two children. And so just laying eyes on her for the first time in the car seat, we had no idea what she looked like, what she was going to be like, but just seeing her for the first time, knowing like, this is our child, it was sort of surreal.
On December 14th, 2018, Savannah was officially part of the family.
The moment when they officially pronounced her Savannah Grace Moy was just so beautiful for us to hear, and something we knew was a long time coming. But by that point, we had well adjusted to.
Are you a baby?
Yes.
You are? What's your name?
Something that comes with adoption, I think a lot of people from the outside looking in, a big question that someone may have is, when do you tell your child that they're adopted? How do you tell your child they're adopted? And for every single family, that looks different. What does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, I love that question. And not only is adoption personal to us because Savannah was adopted, but also I spent years as an adoption social worker. So from the professional side, it's always recommended that your child always know that they came to you through adoption. And so that looks different at every stage. Obviously, a 1-year-old, it's going to look a lot different than when they're older. But so what that looks like for us is we have a book about adoption, and so we would just read that to her. And we never offered more information than she asked. So if she asked a question about, I wasn't born in your tummy, then we answer that at that time, and just always age appropriate. But she has known from the beginning that adoption was a part of her story, and that's always important to us as well, to honor her birth family. And so she's just known from the beginning that God picked her to be in our family, even though she didn't grow in mommy's tummy.
As a former social worker and a mother to an adopted child, Natalie says resources are readily available for your family if you are interested in adoption.
Some people adopt out of a desire to have children because maybe they walked through infertility. And some people have a desire maybe to adopt an older child. So that's really going to be a different answer depending on their motivation. And just if they want to foster to adopt, that's going to look a lot different. But if they want an international or domestic adoption, there are several different agencies that they can look to. A quick Google search will give you several. I have some that I would personally recommend that I have worked for and worked with. But those also come with cost. And then there's also the way of fostering. And then with fostering, the goal is reunification with their birth family. So if adoption is someone's main goal, I always recommend that you don't start there, because that's not the goal of foster care. But if they hope to adopt internationally or domestic, there are private adoption agencies that they can get involved with.
Natalie says her dream is that her daughter knows she has a unique story of her own with more people to love her.
I hope she knows that this was God's plan for her life, and I hope she knows how much her birth family loves and cares for her. It's been really important to us to honor her birth family, because ultimately they're so brave because they made this decision for her to allow us to parent her. And so they're so brave, and we respect them so much. And I hope that she knows that she's loved by them and she's loved by us, and that this was a part of her plan, and that she has a different story, and it's a unique story, but ultimately she now has that many more people to love her.
A special thank you to Natalie for sharing her story and her family's story. They are dear friends of mine, and truly Savannah, Grace, and all of their children are so precious. But it's just nice to know if you're interested in adoption, there is a way to do it. And there is a way to do it locally and globally if you do, and there's many options out there for you.
Yeah, I've had a chance to get to know the Moys a little bit too. What a sweet family. What the perfect story heading into Mother's Day weekend. So love them. Thank you for sharing that story with us, and great job to you as always.
Thank you so much.